afternoon. Welcome to all and who attends yesterday session. How many one attends yesterday session for Android development? One. Interesting. I have surprise for you by the end of this session. Okay, let's start. My name is Mohamed Taman. Okay, this is my Twitter handler. I'm a systems architect. This is my bio. You can take a photo if you'd like to connect. I blog, I tweet, frequently blog. I'm speaking. I'm GCP member. I'm executive committee member also of GCP. Speaker, because of this, I'm with you. Systems architect and design supervisor, this is my role in my company. Okay, I'm responsible for architecture of all of our projects. I manage two teams, .NET team and Java team, but my main experience in Java. Okay, and for now it's mobile development. I like travel, speaking. It's my favorite photography. The shot that you have seen in the background, one of my shots. Okay. Anyway, fine. Did you take a picture for this? Okay. Let's start by our agenda. Today we are going to talk about WebSockets. WebSockets in terms of WebSockets as a API, HTML5 API, W3C standard, and on the other hand, the support from Java EE, Java EE 7 API GSR. Okay, we will explore the both cases, server side and client side. At the middle, we don't have a lot of points to discuss, and our talk will be divided into 50% talking and exploring the idea behind WebSockets, when to use it, how it works. Then we need something to prove as a proof of concept for this. So we are going to develop an application like storyboard. Okay, storyboard we have some stickers and we have space, and we would like to connect for many users to connect to the storyboard and playing with the stickers. I put the sticker here. You should see what I am put it on the board at the same, so you will feel the real-time notification. On the other hand, when you come in the middle of our playing, like when we play chess, you have many movement and I have many movement. But when you come to watch us, you should have the last movement of each other. You understand? You get the idea? This is a storyboard. We need a client-side one, which will be HTML5 standard. Maybe you use it for mobile development, or maybe you use it for desktop, whatever you want. Then the other part will be the Java support for this application as a backend. Okay. Interesting that we are going to talk about the WebSockets, and we will explore everything. This is our agenda. So why not HTTP? Do you know why we would like to move to WebSockets? This is one of the reasons. Okay. One thing that we need bi-directional. In HTTP, we have introduced many hacks like booling, long booling, Comet with Ajax, but all of these are workaround just for making the HTTP request longer to get the feedback directly without waiting for the response. But finally, it's the response. And the other main problem is when you get the connection for a long time with the server, you are abusing a resource, which is connection. Okay, when you request, you submit a request, and you will wait for the response, whatever the background working is. So the bullying, I would like to bull the server every 2 seconds, 1 second, 50 minutes, whatever you want to bull to get the data back. But it is request, and you have to get the response. The other point is the bullying itself. I would like to pull every second. It's abusing to get the response. Maybe the response comes after 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever. But I would like to submit a message, whatever the server has the response, get it back to me. Without just I ask for the update. This is the idea. Okay, server can talk to the client at any time, and the client can talk to the server at any time. Such huge requirement was required by multi-user gaming environment. For example, if you are working with gaming environment, like most of the games now are multi-user and on the internet for simulating, for example, Call of Duty. Okay, Call of Duty. The game, it's fighting, Consider consider it like when I get to shoot you and you have to ball for 1 second, for example, and you get the shot, but at the server, not at the client, and you're still running at the client, then suddenly you find yourself killed. Why of this? Because you submitted a request and waiting for the response for this. What is the hack? To make a pull every millisecond, which is very huge abusing of traffic, bandwidth, and overhead of the network. Okay, in WebSockets, I just send a message which is shooting you will be killed at the same instance, and all the users will get the update at the same action of the other clients. So we need to overcome one of this is HTTP have duplex request only, and then you will have to wait for response. The server can't talk to you. The other point is it's verbose in terms of you have to submit a lot of headers and get a lot of headers. Even if your data is 1K, maybe you submit 1,000K just for headers and getting the same, and your data content is 1K. It's not relevant. It's waste of bandwidth. The other point, it's wasteful. Yes, complex and inefficient because it's an application layer, not the hardware layer, which is socket layer. Hacks for server push. Okay, I would like to make the server talk to me. Okay, or get notification before closing the connection, which is request response. We have introduced polling, long polling the same as polling, but maintaining the session for longer time at the server side. Okay, maybe you submit a request, it will be on server side open 5 minutes, for example. Okay, then the server, when the server get the update, back to you with the response. But bear in mind, this is a connection maintained, which is reduce the number of connections to the server. The other point, it's Comet Ajax. The Comet Ajax, it's just technology used for, instead of sending all the page, just portion of the page using Ajax, I would like the data that I'm interested in, but the same concept. The other one is SSE, server sent event, but one directional. Because what? Because the server who is talking to you, not the client. When the server would like to send the streaming or message to the client, you can do it, but the client can't send back any message to. Okay, WebSocket is the solution for sure. Why? Because of it's TCP based, bidirectional, full duplex messaging. Anytime you can send a message freely. I can send you on your mobile a message. You don't have to reply to me. But maybe you reply to me when you get back to your home, when you're back to the work, maybe you're busy now, whatever you are free, or you have information to me, you'll send it to me. Dramatic reduction of unnecessary network in terms of latency and the traffic. And we will see use case for this. So you can imagine how the reduction would be. Mostly wide adopted API by most of the and majority of HTML5 browsers that support this HTML5 API. Like now, when you go to Can I Use website, it's pronounced Can I Use. Okay, most of the HTML5 API, most of CSS3 features you can find, and you can I use this with current IE version 8, for example, version 9, version 10 for mobile development. Okay, you will find now majority Internet Explorer from 10, it supports WebSockets. Indeed, Safari and Chrome supports from version 14. for Chrome and version 5 for Safari. Firefox, Mozilla supported, and Opera. On mobile level, all mobile browsers support WebSockets now. Support HTTP proxies, filtering, authentication, and the intermediaries. Spec originally proposed as a HTML5 API by W3C, and IE engineering, Internet Engineering Task Force defines a protocol which is like HTTP protocol on hardware level. The handshaking between the client and server, maintaining the connection, the protocol specification for the message, framing, how many bytes, how the packets should be on the TCP, all of this hardware stuff and the specification maintained by IET. Then W3C defined as a JavaScript API that we are going to use to develop our application. Fine. So where we can use it? We can use it in games, stock trading. Stock trading, one of the most interesting area to use, because stock trading just application that builds a server for stock updates. No interaction from you. And we are going to see an example and use case on stock trading, because it's very interesting to demonstrate and how the WebSockets will overcome HTTP problems. The other is multi-user with simultaneous editing. One of this, like this presentation, okay, it's online presentation. So I can share my presentation with you, we can edit together, okay, and I can see your editing at the same time you edit. Okay, this is WebSocket work. They migrated to WebSocket because I contacted the company, why you didn't upgrade to WebSockets? Because if you're working on Java environment now, we have API for this. They told me that we use Google API for WebSockets as a component, and we would like to migrate after that to Java-based standardizations. So the main thing that I have noticed from Prezi is that the main interest in server-sent event. I'm sorry for getting notification for the edit. Before, after 1 second or 1/2 second, I found an update for the editing from my colleagues. At the same as the viewing the presentation. You will find slightly delay when I move slide from slide, when I present my presentation to different colleagues around the world. It's overcome by WebSockets. Okay, then how it works. But before we demonstrate how it works in terms of how the connection maintained, what the client initiate and the server should respond with, then how the connection is open, how is everything in terms of hardware and software. But let's see, okay, a case study that figure out, okay, why we should use it, why it will reduce the traffic, okay, how, and the latency time, which is the response time of your messaging. Okay. This is our stock trading. This simple, very simple example. Developed just an application, web application, will pull the server, okay, for every 1 second, okay, and will be deployed for multiple category of users. 10 users, 100 users, 1,000 users, 100,000 users, and we will see the network abuse, okay, and the bandwidth. But before we do this, let's see this is the traffic really. If we are now talking about HTTP, normal HTTP, okay, our data will be 21 byte, okay, 21K, and all of this have to be sent. Each time you send a request, this is your request headers. Okay, all of this, if you count them, you will find 871 kilobyte. Okay, you have to send it every time. With that, you're 21. There is no data here. I sent to the server because I'm pulling I just send the request. I would like to get the information. Then your updating data is 21 kilobyte. This is the response, including your body. The content length is 21K. So where is the problem? We'll see the problem. This is simple computation. Note that request response header characters count 871 bytes, okay? And the data, for example, this for simplification, and the data will be 21 bytes. Did you see? Every time you send this amount, abusing, I don't need all of this. It's enough for one time. Then I would like to exchange the data. So let's deploy it. The polling here will be every 1 second. Okay, we are going to talk about HTTP. If we deploy use case A for 1,000 client, okay, it will be network traffic is 871 multiplied by 1,000. You will get this number. Finally, it's 6.6 megabyte for each, for just 1,000 user. Okay, no problem. 600. I'm rich company. I can buy a very huge and big bandwidth. Okay, let's use it for 10,000. You'll find 66 megabyte. Make it worse. I'm not talking about million. I'm talking about 100,000. 665 megabyte. Just for 21 byte of data. Let's compare it to WebSockets. The same, but WebSocket had different specification. WebSockets works with TCP level, not HTTP. The TCP levels means packet. Packet has a header and trailer, okay, and the data in the middle. The specification and the framing of the WebSocket is the first 1 byte is the header and the closing of the message and your data in the middle, whatever the size of the data. So we have always headers, and your header will be 2 bytes. No less, no more. Okay? And your length of data. If you recall from previous use case, we have 807, maybe it varies based on your submissions. But here it's always 2 bytes. We're comparing only the headers. I'm not comparing the data itself, because the data, it's what we are considering. Okay? Let's see just by numbers, the same use cases for 1,000. Did you see? You didn't even reach 1.0. Comparing to 6.6 megabyte. The use case B, you reached 1.0, not 1 even mega. Make it worse? Oh, sorry. Finally, we reached 1.5 compared to 665 megabytes. Wasteful or it's normal? How did you see now using WebSocket instead of HTTP request? Did you figure out the network bandwidth reduction? Okay. By using also WebSockets, here's the graph. You'll find polling, WebSockets. Yeah, I'm going to use WebSockets, especially for my company, because we're working with much of the data network traffic because of multi-connections from the user just asking for where is the fuel now in the stations, where is the nearest station, just updates. We don't need to pay too much and increasing our bandwidth, because we increase the connections 6 million users maybe at the same time, this kind of information. So it's very, very, very interesting for companies and for you as a developer. If you'd like to get real-time notification without hacks, like you have agent, security agent, for example, like server, and you have agents deployed everywhere, and you would like, if there is a problem, you need the notification as soon as the problem happened, okay, without any delay, in automative and alerting systems, something like this. Or something has to build your server every time, to build, without just asking for request, okay? At the same time, as we have said before, in HTTP or polling, you have to send request to get the response. Each time, there is no communication in the middle between two. You can send WebSocket just first time. Hey, server, I would like to upgrade to WebSocket connections. The server, okay, I'm supporting the WebSocket. Congratulations, you can send message at any time. This is what happened. The server can send you a message, and I can send message if I would like to. Then, if anything happens, okay, by closing the connection will be closed. That's it. Let's see now how it works. Simple enough, because of we have laptop, for example, as a client, and we have a server, and we would like to connect. We have to make a handshake, as I told you. The first time you make a handshake, you submit these headers. It's a standard headers. Okay, like, okay, I would like to talk the chat protocol, HTTP 1.1. This is the host server. I would like to upgrade to WebSocket. Connection type is upgrading. This is security key that differentiate between you and another connections, okay, on the server, which will be sent each time in the framing header to identification only. I don't need to send all of this again. Then the origin, I am origin because it's not allowing to other party to connect to the server from different origin. This is secure web key. Second, WebSocket protocols. Maybe you define sub-protocols and there is other service, chat service, super chat for some type of users. Maybe your WebSocket protocol doesn't support or support. You can return, yes, I am supporting chat only. Okay, super chat for administrators, for example, and some other facilities. Then the WebSocket version. This is implementation version. You don't have to know all of this, but I just show you the header. Then, okay, the server will respond, congratulations, I accept your connection, and here is my response. I'm switching the protocol, okay, I'm upgrading to WebSocket. Then here is my key, okay? This is like mutual certificate between you and the server for the securing the connection. You have the certificate of the server, and the server has your certificate. So it's no one can send or tunneling this message because your data is encrypted by each certificate. Go and force and back. By the way, the server told us I'm supporting chat. Congratulations, you are connected. Then, after you have maintained the connection, there is an onopen message. For the first connection, this message is called automatically. Okay, you can handle the first initialization of your requests in this place. We will going to explore this in the code and understand what we are going to do in this. Then messages between you and whatever the data may be, string data, arrays data, and objects, like binary data. There is no something called JSON. JSON is formatting for like XML format. It's string, but we can represent most of interesting part that we now exchange data with is the JSON format, because it's very simple, not verbose because of multiple tags. It's just key value, and square brackets with curly brackets, then colon identifying the key and value. That's it, with comma separating the keys and value. Okay, when disconnected, just close. I would like to close. If you close the browser, the onclose will be called and disconnect the connection. If the server time out your connection, you will be in the connection. That's why we need WebSockets and how it works. Okay. No, because like HTTP is the same port. You open, as you will see, I will deploy multiple connection on 2020. from different client, the same port, but it's threading issue in the background. Mean the connection maintained by thread on the backend server. Okay, it's TCP, the same port. There is no new port required to reserve, which is 2020. Then I'm upgrading from HTTP just to WebSocket and making the handshaking, and I can maintain you with on the server side. This is like pooling mechanism for the endpoint. You can increase your pool and you can decrease it based on how many connection would like. No, but with messaging service, not HTTP service. Okay, any questions before now I'm going to dive into HTML5 specification for WebSocket. Then we are going to develop our HTML client in code. Then we will move to Java EE, explore the API. Then we will complete the server. Then we will run and see the interaction between our client, which we have developed, and the server as a service that will serve our client. I have finished all the technical stuff of the WebSocket conception. Any questions?
How many simultaneous connections can server handle?
As I have said to your name, Nicola, it's a threading issue based on your pooling handling on your server, like servlet. You understand? Like when you define your GDBC connection and you maintain your connection pool. It like also the EGB. When you went to EGB, okay, I would like to connect on my EGB, allow 20 connection per second, 14 connection per second, 40, whatever you want. It depends also on your hardware and your memory. It's threading.
And each connection will be handled by
Thread, different thread, yes. A different thread. No, it works with proxy transparently, no problem like HTTP. There is no any problem with intermediary proxies, filtering, no issues with this. Any other questions? The same as HTTP. So, make load balancing. If you have two servers that's load balanced, you can migrate because it's sessions. In terms of the connection, it's saved on the server in terms of sessions. As you will see that we are maintaining our sessions and we can migrate our sessions.
Right, but then the client should be aware of the fact that the connection is closed, and the client should try to keep it.
No. Because you have the same keys, just you're switching the connection, the server has died, like HTTP. When you're working with HTTP and you have a failure in the server, the client didn't feel that he lost the connection because you managed the load balancing. It's like mirroring between the two servers running simultaneously. This is
Because when using HTTP, I'm sending the request each time I need to use data. When using WebSockets, and if the connection.
mm-hmm. Reconnect to the server again because of the connection, TCP connection to the server. Do you mean this? I worked with this and load balancing, but I didn't do any extra work for this. It works like HTTP load balancing, but I have two servers at the same level. I know your question, but I didn't. Because the main reason that if you see the handshaking request and response, you have a key. Okay, you have a key that you can exchange between each other, and I maintained your session with the key. You don't lose the connection. If you lose the connection, you will get notification that you close the connection is closed. You will get this notification, and you will know that you need to reconnect again.
So the client needs to reconnect. Maybe the browser reconnects automatically.
Maybe this is sometimes handled by some of the browsers. It's not specification in the HTML. Sometimes, like some of them, like Safari, maintain this, because I didn't see this problem was when I deployed I did the scaling for WebSockets in my project. I searched about the main problem of how to scale. What if the connection is the client need to explicitly connect? You can make it automatically also if a browser doesn't support by. You get notification that the connection is closed on close, so you can make the connection again from this point. Okay, and you are transparently connected. There's workarounds, but I didn't face this. I don't want to go through something I didn't check this. I didn't face any problem, but your question is valid, indeed, but this is my just answer. Yes. Any questions? Yes. I think we have here this one. I'm using this. I'm sorry for that.
What happens if the connection is closed from client side and client does not reconnect? How long is the time to live for this connection? How long?
On server side?
Yeah, on server side.
The same are asynchronously called. If you close the browser or disconnect, there is an onclose method will be called at the same time. Then you can release the session in this method. We are going to do this in our application because I won't like to maintain my resources. Any unconnected user, I would like to remove it from my pool.
So it's removed just immediately when the connection is closed?
Without your interaction or programming on the server, just you program your method. Whatever you want to do, maybe you're connecting to databases, file opening, and you would like to release these resources. You do this in the onclose message.
Thanks.
Okay. Any other questions?
For example, you have on server side. For example, on server side, you have the configured, I don't know, 10 or 100 threads, for example, so a connection pool, right? For incoming these WebSocket connections. And then, for example, 100 users connected, right? And then they all maintain connection, stable connection. And then, for example, plus one user try to connect, it will be blocked or kind of rejected, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
The same like HTTP. Okay, let's explore the HTML5 API that we're going to use. This is the specification as an interface, okay? Leave this for information. Most interesting that we can send DOM string, okay, which is string. We can set blub, binary data. We can send array buffer, which is array, and we can send array buffer view of the arrays, which is JavaScript. These and these and these are, all of them are binary data, and this is string representation. So we can string binary in terms of streaming, for example. If you'd like to send bulk of file, you get a file as a stream, you can send it as a binary data. At the same time, you can send string. Whatever the representation, maybe it's XML representation, JSON representation, or your representation. Most interesting methods that are going to be called asynchronously without your interaction. Only the method you are going to use is send only. All of this, you just write your code and will be called by the server, by the client, which is browser, asynchronously, which is onclose, onopen, and onmessage. You can use this site, as I told you before. Can I use? You'll see here metrics about each version. Okay, I'm using for mobile also this, so I would like to check iOS support for WebSQL, for example, which version. So when I deployed my application to mobile market, for example, I would like to eliminate Android version from, for example, from 2, because 2 doesn't support my WebSQL database or whatever the specification I would like to work. It's very useful, and it had all the specification for HTML5, CSS3, and all the new APIs introduced. Okay, switch. Fine. Okay, as I told you, all of them are called asynchronously for you. Let's see how it works in the browser. First thing you need to do is create an instance from WebSocket object defined by the browser. You'll find that you don't have to use any library, just like JSON, like DOM document, like Windows. You'll find this object, just you would like to create an instance from this object. Something like this. This is our connection. Then I would like to create a new WebSocket passing the URI of your connection, which is your server. Did you notice something strange here? It's not HTTP, it's WS, which means WebSocket connection. What if I would like, we have two class masters. So we can have a break if you would like. After that, we can continue. Okay, this is your URI. What if we would like to use a secure connection? It's simply WSS, like HTTPS. Then you have to overload or define your messages with an open, on message, on close, on error. Where is send? Send the method you are going to use. We're sending the data for sending the client. Then when you get the data, you will get the data notification here. Here, the first time you open a connection with the server, and after the handshaking is complete, and on close will be called if the server closes the connection by timeout or limitation on the servers, or just the server has some failures and the connection disconnected. Once the connection disconnected, this method will be called asynchronously. This method will be called if there's something error, exceptions, anything happened, but the connection doesn't disconnect. But it's some sort of reporting. Maybe you have problems where you code through exception, then you will get the exception here and show it to the user. Okay. An open event fired when the connection is established after the handshaking, that you are guaranteed that your connection is working. I can send data now. Then on message, one of the most usable method, because all the message you get from the server, you will get the message here. And you can handle your message. Then on close, triggered when the connection has been closed, and on error is fired when an error occurred on server side. Bear in mind the same naming of the annotations we took from this specification, we put it in Java EE specification. So you don't have to mimic many annotations. So if the same life cycle are the same on the server, on message, on close, on error, on open. That's it. Okay. Then I have override all my methods. I would like to send data to the server. Just define your message or get it from the DOM or whatever you want, and then WebSocket.send your message. Congratulations, you interacted with your endpoint and you send a message. You don't have to wait for the response. If there is any response, it will be sent to you, and the onMessage will handle this data for you automatically. You have all the connection, you have mobile servers, you can server to server. How? Java to Java application. We have maintained this. We have server endpoint, we have client endpoint in Java. We'll explore this. So you can talk to your Java endpoint from applets, from another Java component, or from server to server if you would like. I have finished. Now I'm going to just build our client in HTML5. Okay, we will build our WebSocket, our web storyboard. Okay, HTML file application. I think that the guy here told me that we have 15 minutes. So if you'd like to take a break after that, no problem, or we can finish, then take break for 5 minutes and continue. What would you like? Second? Continue and then take break. Okay. Just for memory. It will work this way. Fine. This is our application. Let's close this. This is our index, which represents our interface. Then here all the stickers that we are going to work with. It's PNG's files, and we are going to show all of this in the interface. Here's my style sheet just to style the application. And the main interesting is the index and UI logic. Where is the code? Shit. We are going to build it line by line so we can figure out what we are doing, okay? Let's check the index. You can see the code. Much better? Okay. You can see this means HTML5 document. Okay. No more XML namespaces. This is indicate that I'm working with HTML5 document. Then we have some links to our style, our logic. You will not find any JavaScript code here because I'm a fan of separating the logic from your interface, like what we did in MVC model and server side. Especially if you are working with AngularJS, for example, you will find its routers interface and then your logic in the routers and the back. I have just here, I have a division which says sticker content will contain all the stickers. So I have a reference for each sticker and has an event draggable but true. Why? This is HTML5 specification drag and drop. I would like to just drag the picture to the storyboard. Okay? So I have free movement. So I would like to work with drag and drop API. Then here is the message. Then on drag start, when I drag start, I would like to grasp some information. Then when drag stop, I would like to send on the stopping the data to the server, which is some sort of information about the sticker, position, name, so it can appear on the client's storyboards. We will see this. All of this till we finished all stickers. Then we have the content, which contain the storyboard, nice space picture, and our canvas. I'm using also Canvas API because I'm drawing images. I'm not just mentioning an image resource. I'm drawing. Okay, I'm drawing means I would like to say to the canvas, I would like to draw this image by width and height starting from X and Y, like canvas when you draw on an applet or doing some 2D drawing. You have a canvas and you would like to draw. You go X and Y, then width and height. Okay, stick this image. I would like to get this information X and Y to send it to the server, then with the name. The server should propagate this information to other client. Okay, then the sticker will be drawn on the same canvas so we can see the interaction. So I have used here WebSockets. So you can, for example, when I'm going to share the code, you have drag and drop specification, canvas specification, WebSockets specification, as well as some HTML5 tags, new tags, like footer. Here is our definition for canvas, IDE, width, height, and on-drop event. OnDrop event will handle the sending data to the server. If it's not supported, this is like failback management. It's not written, it will read the content of the tag. This is our footer, and here is a small log. We will see here each message we are going to send in JSON format, what we are sending to the server, and what we are getting from the server in terms of messages. So you can figure out, I sent this message, yes, I received these messages. That's our HTML file. Then let's do the logic. First thing, what we need to do, define the WebSocket variable. I have some snippet instead of, because we have to write too much. This is some sort of definition. Then we have initialization function. Let's take the initialization function. Okay, what's in initialization function? First, here I'm getting the canvas by ID, which is the canvas we defined previously. Okay, this one, we now have the canvas. Okay, so we need to draw on it. That's good, okay. Then we get the context, because we are going to draw 2D dimensional, okay, from the canvas. Then I get the background image. The background image, it's just an image in my project here. It's under resources. I'm sorry. It just this one. It's by ID. Which is this picture. So I'm going to draw on this. Okay. Then, okay, draw image starting, this one, starting from 0, 0 on the canvas, so that all the image space background will be drawn. Drawing not, there is no image like source tagging or something like this. I would like to draw the image. Then define the socket, as we have seen before. WS, this is my local host, 2020. Whatever the port you're naming it. Then starting from here, this is my web application name. Story with this, your web application context. Then story and notification, this is my endpoint that I defined as a service. Thank you. Then on message, we'll call this method. Let's see the interaction when I'm getting the data from the server. Let's define, okay, I have the background, I have the canvas ready, I define the WebSocket, it's ready for using, and I'm just interested in the data coming from the server. Okay, what about sending data? Okay, WebSocket.send. There is no overridden methods. Okay. Always you have event, and you can get multiple information from the event. Most interesting part is the data. What is the data coming from the server? You know that the server will send JSON format of the data. So I'm parsing. This is freely defined under your HTML specification. You can find it without using any library, like WebSocket. Okay, it has two methods. Stringify and parse. Parsing the string to JavaScript object, and stringify. Take the JavaScript object, convert it to string JSON format. We're using parse because we know that we have JSON format, a string representation of JSON format. Then I would like to log our message to see what we get from the server. Then I have action which is add. I'm interested in add. It's not update because I'm adding stickers. You can handle update. So it's update, you can replace the old image and add the new one. For adding, I'm just drawing the new image. Okay. I would like to draw an image, so I have to define image. Okay. This object, when it's load, this is the canvas. I get the context. Then I draw the image. Did you see this object? Here is I'm using all the information from this object. Draw this image by name on X and Y. Then object image, which has been drawn, its source is resources, stickers, then the sticker name that represent stickers in a sticker name you have sent previously from other client. So I can have the sticker, put it in X and Y. So we can see the other putting other client who is putting the images. Okay. Any question till now? I think that I am finished all the WebSocket handling. The other part is just drag and drop. The drop will send the information and drag will handle just getting the information from the sticker, which is X and Y.
Can you create several WebSocket connections from browser to several servers? New WebSocket, new WebSocket.
Yes. If you have multiple, for example,
2 servers or 3 servers from one browser, I can create several WebSockets.
No problem, but you have to create new instance.
Yes.
No problem. On the same domain? Servers?
Sorry, let me rephrase my question. Is it allowed to have a cross-domain WebSockets? Okay, thank you.
No, for security reasons. All HTML5, even messaging between iframes message, now it's allowed to call to send messages to iframe content and get messages from iframe content, but it should be in the same origin, no different because of hijacking or something like this. Okay, let's stop. So we have finished this. When we get back, we'll continue our application for the client, then go to explain the server and complete our application. If we have a time, I'm going to demonstrate how to create hybrid mobile application without any ID, just Cordova from command line. Because I have been asked for this yesterday because confusing a little bit. The guy only will be interested in this one. But you can figure out how to build mobile application with HTML5 and hybrid one freely from any ID. Okay? Don't be late. Just 5 minutes. It's enough. Come back.